Hey guys, sorry I keep getting cut off. I hope it is the last time I will get cut off, or so help me God. I did want to make a quick disclaimer though. As I'm recording this. By this end of the recording of this podcast, I made the conscious decision to take an indefinite social media hiatus, which means that I'm not going to be on social media for a good while. I don't know. It could be a month from now, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a permanent hiatus. But right now, it's an indefinite social media hiatus. So if you found my podcast through social media, I just wanted to say that um, I'm still going to be having a podcast going on every week. Just know that I'm not going to be on social media promoting it. Um, so, if you want to get a hold of the podcast, text the podcast number, which I provide at the end of this podcast, and follow the podcast website. And yeah, but no social media right now for this podcast. So I still hope that y'all can enjoy it and I stick at least with a little small loyal following. And yeah, but with that said, enjoy the rest of the podcast episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Is This Thing On? So, today I wanted to talk about, I think some of you guys know that I love fitness. I love to work out. It brings me sanity. It brings me joy. I just love being an active person. And if exercise is not in my routine, I don't know what kind of person I would be. I don't think I would be as put together as I appear to be. And I say put together as I appear to be because I have a lot of days where I don't feel like waking up and being productive and then working out. And I, for the record, I'm not a morning workout person. It's just never been my thing. I think if I do get an 8 to 5 job, I'm probably gonna have to make it my thing because it's gonna be kind of hectic to get out of work like late, right? And then go to the gym and do all the sort of things that I need to get done. But it's a part of my routine. Some level of exercise is a part of my routine, whether it's walking my dog or running or playing tennis or going to the gym or just, a simple little ab workout. It's part of my routine. So today I kind of wanted to talk about my fitness journey that I've been on for about, if we want to talk about consistent fitness journey, I would say 2 years. It's coming up on 2 years. But if we want to talk about when more or less I started working out, maybe almost 5 years ago. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Growing up, I was always a very active kid. I had so much energy. My parents really did not know what to do with me because I just had so much energy. And so I tried out so many different things growing up as a child. I tried ballet, I tried dance, I tried cheerleading, I tried gymnastics, martial arts, swimming. I played tennis for a little bit in middle school. I did cheerleading a little bit in elementary school. I did gymnastics for a bit, and I loved gymnastics. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know. I just loved gymnastics. It was a lot of fun. The thing that I was the best at probably was martial arts, and I freaking loved it. But it gets too expensive over time because you have to pay to test for your belts and all that. Because if you're wondering what kind of martial art I did in particular, it was Taekwondo. Loved it. I probably would have been a black belt by now, but I quit maybe like at the beginning of college. I think I quit right before I went like into university. So if it weren't for that, I think I would have gone back and I probably would have already had my either first or second degree black belt. But anyways, I was super good at it, you know. Could have done a lot with that. Maybe one day I'll go back and redo my taekwondo stuff because I absolutely loved it. I think it's a nice way to work out, and it also just keeps you disciplined. I really liked it. Anyways, so and also in high school I did a little bit of sports. Like I've mentioned before in like previous podcast episodes, I did not have a traditional high school experience. So I actually had to get permission from the local high schools to do sports at their schools because my high school did not have any electives, did not have any sports, any like anything of that sort. And so I did cross country and track for a little bit. I also did that in middle school. I was quite good at track. I was a pretty fast sprinter. Um, and I sucked at cross country, but I did it because it really, really prepared me for track. Because by the time I did track, I was so used to running long distance that doing like a 400-meter sprint or an 800-meter sprint was like just so easy peasy for me because I had already had all this intensive training. And man, cross country, if you are a professional runner, if you're a runner, because I used to be a runner, it's tough, man. Waking up at 5 in the morning to run with your team and then going to the weight room sometimes and just, making sure that you don't like overstretch or don't do anything that is going to cause you to get just in general for like fitness and sports and just if you're an athlete, it's so important to make sure you know that you're stretching right and you're doing all the necessary things that you need to do in order to keep your body in tippity top shape. Anyways, so that's a little bit about what I did growing up. I kind of did everything. I played the field, if you know what I mean. So I think we're all familiar with like the freshman 15, right? If we go like into college. I never went into college as a freshman, so I didn't necessarily go through that freshman 15, but I will tell you this. My fitness journey probably started like 5 years ago. So, I guess 2015, I was going into my last 2 years of college. So I transferred into the local university as a junior. And so I remember that, in my tuition, um, there was a recreational fee, and in those recreational fees, you were given the opportunity. It was already covered by your tuition to use the gym that they had at the university. It was called the recreational center, the rec. And so I thought it was awesome because the rec at this university that I went to, and I'm not gonna say if you're a friend of mine or you know me, you know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't really know me or where I live, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not dropping those deets, okay? Uh, but anyways, every student that paid tuition had access to the recreational center or the gym or whatever you want to call it. And so it was so nice because they had an indoor track, they had a swimming pool, they have tennis courts, they had basically everything. It was state of the art, awesome, facility. And I would try to go like 3 or 4 times a week because it was really tough because I had classes all day, like all day. Like I was basically at school like all the time because my first semester transferring as a junior to university, I took like a full course load. I took like 6 classes. Yeah, that's quite a lot, but I kind of was already used to it because of my non-traditional high school experience. But anyways, I've already talked about that. If you want to hear about, you know, what I did in high school and stuff like that, I already have an episode out. Go check it out if you want. All right. Cool. Okay. So, I was like, I think I was 18 already at this time. Yeah, I was 18, just graduated high school. And I noticed that I had started gaining weight. I've always been a petite girl, and for a long time, I was able to stay really, really slim and petite. Um, and so, but then I started noticing that my junior, sort of senior year of high school, I started to, become a little bit chunky, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong with gaining weight, just as long as it's, in a healthy capacity. But for some reason, it's like I had gained this weight overnight and I didn't know why. So finally, when I was 18 and I was already, I had graduated from high school, I decided that I really, really wanted to make a really healthy change in my life, and that was going to start with my diet. So I made the choice to become vegetarian and vegetarian pescatarian, because for a long time I did eat fish, once in a while. I don't eat it anymore though. It's out of my diet completely, the fish, you know. Um, Maybe once in a while I'll have it, but I decided to, sort of get it out of my diet because I think the vegetarian diet has helped me a lot. And so yeah, I made that choice to go vegetarian at 18. Um, I did it cold turkey. The reason I did it cold turkey was because I didn't care for meat anymore. I found it really disgusting. It was just something I didn't want to indulge in anymore. Even chicken and poultry and all that stuff just kind of grossed me out. And then just, seeing what they would do to the animals and how bad it was that was happening. And so for me, I just was like, I can't do this anymore. So I made the conscious choice to just become a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 5 years now. Um, it's been one of the best choices I've made. I love the fact that I feel a lot healthier. I have a lot more energy. I feel better about myself, and I also feel better about the environment and about the animals. I know most people are going to be like, oh my God, you're one of those people that does it for the animals. You know what? Yes, to an extent, yes. I love animals, and I think that they are sentient beings. They feel just as much as we do. Maybe not in the grand sort of capacity that we do, but they are still beings and they are still worthy of, love and respect. Anyways, without getting too, like controversial. Um, so yeah. So then after that happened, obviously I went into college and sorry guys, I stopped recording because someone came into the room and it made noise, so sorry about that. Anyhow, and I'm also sorry about any background noise you're gonna hear. It's just my family. They're extremely loud, but what am I gonna do? So anyways, yeah, so we were talking about how, yeah, I went into college, did all that, and I remember feeling like I had gained a lot of weight, and I did gain a lot of weight. It felt like I had gained like 30 pounds overnight, and I remember just thinking to myself that I just felt so sluggish and so unhealthy and just so like I probably felt like probably the worst about my body during that time. I felt really, really self conscious. I think I was at my heaviest too, and I just did not feel great. And I was at least glad that I had already changed my diet. So that was helping me out a bit. But I had noticed um, that I had like issues with I had an issue with like my hormones. Like I have a hormone imbalance. I have a condition called PCOS, which stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. Basically, it's just that I have this condition that where I have cysts in my ovaries. And so I remember feeling like, and again, you probably shouldn't do this and self-diagnose yourself. Don't go on WebMD and try to like look at your symptoms because you're just gonna go crazy. Anyways, but I just felt like, I had been doing a little bit of research and I had been like trying to figure out what was going on with my body because, you know, I had been going to the gym so much and, you know, so then I finally, went to the gynecologist um, and figured out that I did indeed have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And they prescribed me birth control and they gave me this other medication called metformin, which, if you don't know, it's basically medication that diabetics take. I think it's either type 1 or type 2, or if you're pre diabetic, you take this medication to help with insulin resistance, which is basically like where your body's, um, insulin levels are kind of like whack, and it's helping to regularize them, um, regularize and keep your insulin levels normal, and it also helps with losing weight. But when I was on both of those medications, I didn't lose weight. In fact, I think I gained weight, and I felt lethargic. I felt nauseous. I just felt so horrible on both the birth control and the metformin that I got off of it. And then, I felt better, you know, and I haven't taken it since because my body just did not receive it well. So, anyways, going back to being in college, once I had received that news, it sucked that I have this condition, but it made me realize that I really, really need to get back into working out. So I started going to the gym, like 3 to 4 times a week, because I did have a really, really, really busy schedule with all my classes going on. It was a lot. And so I think, one of the main things that causes us to gain weight, besides, what we're putting into our bodies and our diet, is stress. And so I think I was just so, so, so stressed out with all my classes that it was just, I think, aggravating my symptoms even worse. And so when I started working out, it did help, but I noticed that I was just not losing the weight. Like it was just not happening for me. And um it took, because I would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week when I was in university. Um, I probably didn't start seeing results until last year after being at the gym for so long. So I worked out the 2 years that I was in college. Sorry, guys, that I keep getting interrupted. Sorry for all the noises you're hearing around. But anyways, where was I? Oh yes, I think I was talking about how, yeah, I had been working out pretty consistently the 2 years that I was at college, university, whatever you want to call it. And I did not see any results till last year. Um, I was able to lose 17 pounds, which I thought was great because I was able to go from I lost 2 or 3 pant sizes, which I was like, yo, hey, this is awesome. Um, I felt a lot better about myself. I felt more confident. Um, and I just felt better overall, knowing that, I had lost this amount of weight. But it took a long time to get there. And I think the only reason I was able to lose at least that much amount of weight was because I was going to the gym. For some of you guys, this may sound extreme, but I was going to the gym 6 times a week. So my only rest day was Sunday. I was also portion controlling my food. I was watching my portions. Not really doing that anymore. Thanks a lot, quarantine. My body has gone into survival mode, and I've raided my pantry. I don't know how many times at this point. So yeah, I think that's what really, really helped me. I was doing a lot of portion control with my food. Because I am a vegetarian, a huge part of my diet is carbs because I don't consume meat. So I was very carb dependent. And I mean, I still am. Some of the biggest things that I eat are pasta, grains, legumes, beans, lentils, a lot of leafy greens like kale and lettuce and broccoli and spinach. A lot of heavy vegetables. Oh, guys, forgive me if I am yawning. I am recording this podcast episode at 10 at night, and while I've had 2 iced coffees today, I guess I'm at the point of my energy cycle where that energy is just not carrying into this episode. But if you're so gracious with me, um, we'll wrap it up in a few. So yeah, I think that's what helped me a lot. Also, just drinking a lot of water. Like, I don't think people realize how dehydrated their bodies are. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much um, circulation your body needs in order to lose fat. And part of that is making sure you're drinking enough water in a day. Because sometimes 8 cups a day is not going to cut it. They usually say, and I go by this standard, take whatever you weigh, divide it by 2, and that is how much water you should be drinking every day. That should be your daily water intake. And that's what I do. That's what I try to follow. Because it's really, really important to keep yourself hydrated. You could be eating the best diet, having the best diet, eating really clean, portion controlling. But if you are still, drinking, for example, sodas and juice and all these sugar dependent drinks, and alcohol as well, you're just not going to lose the weight. So, you need to gravitate towards water. Water is a huge part of it. I think water helps you lose weight. It regulates your body. It helps with those cravings. Because my gosh, do I have cravings like no other. Especially when it's that time of the month. If you know what I'm talking about, ladies, can I get an amen? Yeah, the more water you drink, the more it satiates your body, and it curbs your appetite, and it obviously keeps you hydrated, and we need hydration in order to keep our body and it at a healthy equilibrium. So water is a huge part of it. Portion controlling is great. I mean, if you want, you could try keto. I've heard keto. There's been a bunch of studies on keto, and it's proven to be very effective. But keto is also very restrictive. You cannot have a lot of carbs on keto. It's mostly dependent on, like, I think protein and like healthy fats. Um, and like very little sugar. I don't exactly know the entire basis of keto, but I've had friends go on it and they told me that it's very effective, but it is very restrictive. So, with any kind of diet or lifestyle change, make sure you consult a doctor and you make sure it's healthy for you. If it's something that restricts sugar, make sure it's a healthy amount of sugar, because although sugar is bad, we still need it in our diet. Especially if you're type 1, type 2 diabetes, you sometimes need your sugar because you're a little too low on your sugar. Um, uh, so yeah, just with any type of diet change, just make sure you consult a doctor and make sure you're taking all the necessary steps and approaches. I think another thing that helped me a lot on my fitness journey that I was a bit skeptical to try, just because I thought that I was gonna get very bulky and manly looking. But for a long time, I did not want to try weightlifting. I just thought it was the absolute devil. I did not want to try weightlifting. I didn't see the point to it. I didn't like it. I thought it was something that, you know, only like, I don't know. I knew that personally for myself, a lot of muscle on my petite frame was not going to look good. And so for a while, I was very, very hesitant to do like any kind of like weight and resistance training. And then after a while, um, I started doing deadlift squats, started adding more weight into my exercise regime. And you know what? It helped me a lot, because I've actually heard that weightlifting is more effective, can be more effective than cardio by itself. Because with weightlifting, even after the fact that you're done weightlifting, your body somehow keeps burning the calories. It just, I don't know. I guess the science behind it is because when you're weightlifting, the primary goal is that you're gonna, one, gain more muscle, and your muscles are gonna get toned. And so muscle weighs more than fat. So that's another thing that I was scared of. I was like, oh my God, if I'm gonna weightlift, I'm gonna gain all this weight. I'm gonna look so muscular and I'm not going to look feminine enough. And that is not true. It just depends what kind of weight exercises you do and how often you do them and the sets that you do, and how often you incorporate them into your routine. I do deadlift squats like maybe 2 to 3 times a week, just depending on how my body is. Like one day I'll do it, one day I won't. One day I do, yeah, one day I won't. One day I do, one day I won't. Just so that I'm not exhausting my body and then I can't, you know, do a squat the next day, or I can't do anything else for the next couple of days. You don't want to get to that point. But yeah, don't be alarmed if you see that you are gaining weight and that the number on the scale is going up, because oftentimes the scale lies. And again, muscle weighs more than fat. So you have to keep that in mind. And so, obviously, with any kind of exercise, like, you toned your body, your muscles, and obviously, there's tissues that are tearing in your body. So, every time take a day off, or two for working out, it's very, very important because you're letting those tissues repair themselves. You're letting the muscle structure replenish itself. And so that's also really important, just to not push yourself so much to where you cannot um, get up the next day. Because let me just tell you, um, during quarantine, I didn't go back to the gym till probably towards the end of May. And I know what you're thinking, girl, what are you doing? Why are you going to the gym? Why are you doing that? Like, there's such a high risk right now. Yeah, I completely get that. I'm taking my chances though. I'm being very cautious about it. I'm wearing gloves, I'm sanitizing everything, washing everything up. So all of that is good to go. I'm minimizing my risk also by wearing a mask, and I only really go when there's literally no one at the gym. So I also keep that in mind. But yeah, the first week back from the gym, I thought I was going to be able to go back to deadlifting, deadlift squatting like 165, which was like my highest that I had done. Um, Let me just tell you, muscle memory did not kick in. Um, and the next day, I could not walk. I was very sore. Um, I just looked like was, I looked very constipated the next day. I couldn't walk. I looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Popeye had a love child. Yeah. I couldn't walk that well. So I just want to say that if you do go back into the gym, or you are starting at the gym, do not go hard the first day, the first week, the first month. Take it easy. Do what you can. Because again, you do not want to, one, injure yourself, two, make it to the point where you're so sore that it hurts to talk or laugh or giggle or whatever. Soreness is good to a certain extent, but if you can barely walk or move, you're overdoing it, okay? Give yourself some time for your tissues to start that repair process, because if you don't, you will not see results. I'll tell you this much. You will not see results. Also, I don't think controversial opinion, right? And some of you that are gym rats out there, like myself, are probably going to get mad at me for saying this. I don't think that pre-workout is all it's cracked up to be. I don't. I don't think you need it. I don't think it's necessary. If you want to take pre-workout, you can, absolutely. Just make sure you do your research about it. Um, I don't take pre-workout. I tried whey protein, like maybe a few times. Hated it. Was disgusted by it. Thought it was the grossest thing ever. I don't take any kind of protein supplement to go to the gym. I don't. What has helped me is I like drinking a little bit of coffee before I work out, and it helps. You can drink some black coffee right before a workout, and it does the trick. It does the trick. I mean, it does the trick for me. Um, I don't think I would be a fan of pre-workout. Energy drinks, look, I've never been an energy drink kind of person. I've heard good things about Bang energy drinks and Celsius. Hey, if they're your cup of tea, they're your cup of tea, go for it. Just with anything, do your research, because some of those energy drinks have a lot of calories and a lot of sugar, and you may think that they are good for you, and they are not always good for you. So with anything, just research it. I don't take any of that though personally. I just make sure that I have like a good pre-workout snack. I would say something that's not too heavy on the body is some apples with a side of peanut butter. Cut up an apple or two or three, and get a little spoonful of peanut butter, and just eat that. Eat that maybe an hour or two before you're about to go work out. It's a great little pre-workout snack. You got your protein and your carbs there. Apples are very dense. They're very calorie dense, practically air. And then you have your, peanut butter there. So that's good. Post-workout snack, I mean, it just really, really depends what time you're finishing your workout. Because sometimes I'll gravitate with something with a lot of protein, and sometimes I'll gravitate towards something that has a lot of carbs, like pasta. So it just really, really, really depends what you're gonna, how long you've been working out. I would just say just listen to your body, but also be mindful of what time you're gonna eat, because typically carbs after 6 o'clock are kind of hard to digest. So just keep that in mind. Maybe don't have that piece of bread with butter at 6 o'clock. It might not digest. And what ends up happening is that those carbs end up getting metabolized into sugar, and then the sugar gets stored as fat. Why? Because it's not being used at that precise moment to burn off energy. The best time of day for eating sugars and carbs is in the morning. Right when you wake up for breakfast, you can have all the sugar and all the carbs you want. That's probably the best time to do it. Why? Because you are waking up and you need that energy to start your day. So have it. If you want to have that cup of orange juice, have it in the morning. If you want to have that croissant, or bagel, or whatever, have it in the morning. If you want to have something starchy like potatoes, have it in the morning. Maybe have it a little bit maybe have it midday. But just be weary of what time you eat and all that stuff. I try to not eat past 9 o'clock. If I eat past 9 o'clock, my body feels it. Yes, I have a lot of cravings, but what I try to do is I just try to chug a bunch of water, and I guess intermittent fast until the next day, and it works. So just be mindful of that. What else did I want to say about my fitness journey? Um, for a long time, I was fixated on the number on the scale, and I know that happens a lot with girls, guys too. But I feel like with us, because you go from weighing so little and being very skinny, being a size 0, to going from like a size 2 and then to a size 6, and you're kind of like, oh my god, it all went to my freaking hips or my butt. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you gain a little bit of weight, so be it. It doesn't matter, You will eventually burn it off. Be gracious with your scale. The number on the scale, be gracious with yourself. The number on the scale doesn't always matter. It doesn't always reflect what's on the outside. So just be mindful of that. What's important is that you are feeling healthy, not just physically, but mentally. I think a huge thing that we need to start doing, and that huge thing that diet culture needs to stop doing, is glamorizing uh, how restrictive diets can be. And we just need to take that shift and that focus away from counting our calories and weighing ourselves all the time. I think it's okay to weigh yourself. Maybe don't do it every week. Maybe weigh yourself once every month, or once every 3 months, or once every 6 months, or never. You know? I think once you start shifting your body, your mindset to, I'm working out because I want to be stronger. Um, I want to be more toned. I want to be able to, I don't know, guess be stronger, you know? And I'm doing this because I want my body is a temple, and I'm going to treat it with respect. And once you realize that, at the end of the day, you have a body, you were given a body, and you are surviving, and you're able to digest your food and eat most of what you want and live the life that you want. I think that is going to make you a lot happier, rather than seeing the number on the scale constantly drop. So just make sure you focus on that before anything else. And love yourself. Love yourself. Love the body that God has given you. I know it's going to be hard. You're going to wake up some days and you're going to look at yourself and you're going to realize how bloated you are. That is me right now. But realize that your bloating could be the result of hormones cursing through you. Am I right, ladies? Just be kind to yourself, be kind to your body. Realize that your body serves a purpose, and you were given this body for a reason. So you're beautiful no matter what your size or shape you are, okay? All right. With that being said, guys, like I mentioned before, I have a podcast number if you want to go give me a little ring, little phone call. That number is, hold on 1 second. I'm going to find that number. I'm doing it right. Oops. Sorry. That was my phone dropping. I'm trying to locate this number. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm stalling so hard. Okay. This is my podcast number if you guys want to call it. If you need a friend to talk to. If you're lonely. If this quarantine has made you sad and you need a buddy, just give me a little ring. That number is 956-278-0720. One more time. 956-278-0720. Once again, 956-278-0720. You can give me a little ring, little phone call. You can text that number as well. Just if you need someone, I'm there to listen to you. There's also a voice message little link that you can click on in the description of this podcast, and you can record a little voice memo on that link, and it goes straight into my podcast website. You can do that as well. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful morning, day, or night, whatever time of the day you are listening to this. As always, guys, I'm praying for you. I love you all. I'm thinking of you. As always, go forth, prosper, and God bless. Bye!